The wheat fields burned orange under the setting sun. Lucy Bennett chased butterflies between the tall stalks while her parents harvested the day's crop. She laughed as one landed on her nose. The 6-year-old girl had no idea this would be her last moment of peace. The skies split open with thunder. Massive shapes descended through the clouds. Dragon warriors in full battle armor, their scales gleaming like blood-soaked metal. The Crimson Scale Legion had arrived. Wraith led the assault squadron. His scarlet scales bore the scars of 40 campaigns across the frontier. He had killed before, hundreds of times. It was his duty, his honor. The Empire expanded, and he was the blade that carved the path. The human settlement of New Haven meant nothing to him. Just another obstacle, another mission. The orders were clear. Leave no witnesses. Take the territory. Move to the next target. Plasma fire ripped through the settlement. Buildings exploded. People screamed and ran. Wraith moved through the chaos with practiced efficiency. His weapon hummed with deadly energy. He felt nothing. This was war. This was purpose. The Bennett family farm sat at the edge of town. David Bennett grabbed his daughter and pulled her toward the house. His wife and ran beside them. They had no weapons, no way to fight back. They only wanted to hide. Wraith tracked their heat signatures. 3 humans, 2 adults, and 1 small child. Standard protocol. Eliminate all 3. He crashed through their door. His massive frame filled the entire entrance. His armor dripped with ash and blood. David pushed Lucy behind him and spread her arms wide. They knew they would die. They only wanted seconds more. Anything to give their daughter a chance. Wraith raised his weapon. The charge built. 2 seconds until discharge. 1 second. Lucy stepped forward. She walked right past her parents. Her tiny hands pressed against her sides. She looked up at Wraith. Way up, the dragon warrior towered over her. His weapon could vaporize her in an instant. His claws could tear her apart. She did not run. She did not cry. Please don't hurt my family, she said. Her voice was small but steady. Her brown eyes met his without fear. Not because she was brave. She was terrified, but she loved her parents more than she feared death. Wraith's finger froze on the trigger. Something ancient stirred in his chest. A memory 300 years old. His own daughter. His own little girl. Before the wars. Before the Empire consumed everything he loved. She had looked at him the same way. The day she died, the weapon powered down. Wraith lowered it slowly. David and stared in shock. The dragon warrior just stood there, silent. His massive chest rose and fell. Get away from her. Commander Grask burst through the door behind Wraith. His black scales marked him as senior command. His weapon was already charged, already aimed at the family. Stand azide, Vite. Complete your mission. Wraith did not move. Lucy still stood in front of him, her small body between the dragon warriors and her parents. I said stand aside. Grask moved to push past Wraith. His weapon swung toward Lucy. Wraith moved faster. His claws ripped through Grask's throat. Blood sprayed across the walls. The commander fell, his eyes wide with shock. He tried to speak, but only gurgled. Then he died. The house fell silent except for the distant sounds of destruction. Wraith stood over his commander's body. His friend. His brother in arms for 20 years, he had just murdered him. For a human child, he did not know. No. David's voice broke the silence. No, no, no. What did you do? Wraith knew exactly what he had done. He had betrayed his legion, his people, his empire. Every dragon in the assault force witnessed it through their linked tactical system. They all saw him kill Grask. They all saw him defend the humans, that he was now a traitor. The punishment was death. Take your daughter, Wraith said. His voice was deep and rough. Run. Hide. Now. Plasma fire erupted outside. Dragon warriors were coming. Fussed. And grabbed Lucy. David grabbed supplies. They ran for the back door. 2 dragons burst through the front entrance. They saw Grask's body. They saw Wraith. They understood immediately. Traitor! One screamed. Wraith's training saved him. He moved on instinct. His weapon discharged. The first dragon fell. The second dodged and returned fire. The blast caught Wraith's shoulder. His armor absorbed most of it but pain lanced through him. He tackled the dragon. They crashed through the wall into the wheat field. The stalks burst into flame around them. They fought hand to hand, claws and teeth. Wraith was older, but more experienced. He won. Barely. The Bennett family was gone. Good. They had chance now. A small one. More dragons approached. At least 6. Maybe more. Wraith could hear their wing beats. He could not fight them all. He would die here. But maybe the family would escape. Maybe Lucy would live. He turned to make his stand, but a small hand grabbed his claws. Lucy had come back. She pulled at him with all her tiny strength. Tears streamed down her face, but her jaw was set. Determined. "Come on," she said. "You have to run too." Behind her, David and waited at the tree line. They had not abandoned him. After everything. After he killed their neighbors. After he destroyed their world. They waited for him because he saved their daughter. Wraith felt something crack inside his chest. Something he thought died centuries ago. He followed them into the forest. Dragons screamed behind them. The hunt had begun. The entire Crimson Scale Legion would track them now. They would never stop. Never forgive. Wraith had chosen one human child over his entire civilization, but he did not regret it. They ran into the darkness together. 3 days in the wilderness changed everything. Wraith crouched at the cave entrance. His enhanced hearing picked up every sound for miles. Wind through leaves, small animals moving, water trickling, and something else. Wing beats, far away but getting closer. They were still hunting. Behind him, Lucy shivered. The cave was cold. Humans were so fragile. They needed warmth and food constantly. Wraith knew how to survive. He could go weeks without eating. But the child needed care every few hours. David and had not made it past the first night. They tried. They ran hard. But dragons move faster. See better. Track heat signatures through dense forest. A squadron found them at dawn. Wraith fought. He killed 2. Wounded 3 more. But there were too many and died first. Plasma blast to the chest. Instant. David lasted longer. He used his body to shield Lucy. Made Wraith promise to protect her. Then he was gone too. Wraith carried Lucy for 2 days straight. She barely spoke, barely moved, just held onto his armored back and cried silently. He felt each tear like acid on his scales. Now she sat in the corner of the cave. Small, alone, 7 years old, and everyone she loved was dead. Because of dragons. Because of him. "You need to eat," Wraith said. He placed dried fruit beside her. Human rations from a supply cache. He did not know if it was enough. If it was right. He knew nothing about caring for children. Lucy did not respond. She stared at the cave wall. Wraith's chest tightened. His own daughter had stopped eating near the end too. When the sickness took her. He could not save her then. Could not save Lucy's parents now. What was the point of his strength if he could not protect anyone? Thunder rumbled outside. Not weather. Distant explosions. The dragons were destroying the forest systematically, burning it section by section, forcing them to move. "We leave in 10 minutes, Wraith said. "Can you walk?" Still no response. Wraith moved closer. Carefully. His massive frame always scared humans. But Lucy had touched him before, pulled him to safety. Maybe she could bear his presence now that he sat down. The cave floor cracked under his weight. "I had a daughter once." Lucy's head turned slightly. Her name was Sarah. She loved to climb. Everything. Trees, rocks, buildings. Her mother scolded her constantly. "I thought it was funny." Wraith paused. The memory hurt. She died 300 years ago. Plague. I could fight enemies, but not disease. I held her as she faded. I would have traded the entire empire to save her. But I had nothing to trade. Lucy looked at him now. Her eyes were red from crying. After she died, I joined the military. I thought purpose would fill the emptiness. It did not. I just became good at killing. Very good. They promoted me, decorated me, called me a hero, but I was just empty inside. Then why did you save me? Lucy's voice was barely a whisper. Because you reminded me what mattered. Before the wars. Before I forgot. You stepped forward when you should have run. You protected your family when you had no weapon. That took more courage than anything I did in 40 campaigns. But they still died. Yes, they did. Because I was not fast enough. Strong enough. I failed him. I failed you. Lucy was quiet for a long moment. Then she moved closer, slowly, like approaching a wounded animal. She sat next to Wraith, her tiny body against his armored leg. My dad said you were brave. Before he died, he said you gave up everything for me. He said that mattered. Wraith's throat constricted. Dragons do not cry, cannot cry, but something close to it burned in his chest. Your father was a good man. He was. Lucy leaned against him. I miss them. I know. They sat together in silence. Outside, the explosions grew closer. Wing beats multiplied. The hunters were converging. Can you really keep me safe? Lucy asked. Wraith wanted to lie, to promise. But David died because promises failed. I will try, with everything I am. But dragons are strong. There are many. I cannot guarantee success. That's what my dad said too. He said trying is enough. Lucy stood up. She picked up the dried fruit and ate it. Small bites, forcing herself. Then she drank water from the canteen. Her movements were mechanical but determined. We should go, she said. Wraith felt pride swell in his chest. This child had every reason to give up, to collapse, to wait for death. Instead, she chose to fight, to survive. This was what humans did. They endured. They adapted. They found strength when strength should not exist. They left the cave as fire consumed the valley below. Wraith carried Lucy on his back. She held tight, but no longer cried. She watched the forest, alert, learning. They moved through narrow canyons where dragon wings could not follow, through rivers that masked their heat, through ancient tunnels that maps forgot. Wraith used every trick from his long military career, but the hunters were his own people. They knew the same tricks. On the fifth day, they cornered them. Torvin led the pursuit squadron. He and Wraith served together for decades, fought side by side, saved each other's lives. Now, they faced each other across a canyon ledge. It does not have to end this way, Torvin called out. Surrender the human. Accept judgment. Die with honor. No. Wraith placed Lucy behind him. You killed Grask. You betrayed the Legion. For what? For this. Torvin gestured at Lucy. She is nothing. Just a child of an inferior species. Why throw away everything? Because she is everything. She is why we should stop fighting. Why we should build instead of destroy. You are insane. Maybe. But I would rather die insane and right than live sane and wrong. Torvin raised his weapon. 5 other dragons did the same. Wraith had no cover, no advantage. Lucy pressed against his back. She trembled, but did not cry out. I am sorry, Wraith whispered to her. I tried. I know, Lucy whispered back. Thank you. The weapons charged. Wraith prepared to die. Then plasma fire came from a different direction entirely. Human resistance fighters emerged from hidden positions. 20 soldiers with heavy weapons. They opened fire on the dragons. Covering fire. Suppression. Run. Someone yelled in human language. Wraith did not hesitate. He grabbed Lucy and dove off the cliff. They fell. Wind screamed past. Lucy buried her face in his shoulder. Wraith spread his wings at the last second. They caught air. Barely. Not enough to fly, but enough to slow their descent. They crashed into the river below. The current pulled them downstream. Away from the battle. Away from the dragons. Toward something Wraith never expected. Hope. The underground facility smelled like metal and medicine. Wraith woke to pain and chains. Heavy chains. Reinforced. Designed to hold creatures like him. He was locked to a wall in some kind of holding cell. Bright lights burned his eyes. Lucy was gone. Panic surged through him. He pulled against the restraints. Metal groaned, but held. Where is she? What did they do to her? Stop struggling, or we will sedate you. A human voice. Female. Calm. Clinical. Wraith focused. A woman in medical clothing stood outside the cell. She held a tablet. Gray hair pulled back. Tired eyes, but steady hands. A doctor. Where is Lucy? The child is safe. Being fed. Cleaned. Examined by pediatric specialists. She is not your concern anymore. She is my only concern. Interesting. You kill her parents. Destroy her home. Lead dragons to hunt her for days. Now you claim to care. Wraith's jaw tightened. I saved her life. After putting it in danger. I did not start this war. but you participated in it. For decades. The doctor stepped closer. Her name tag read, Dr. Rebecca Stone. I read your file. Not officially. We had to hack Dragon military networks. But we know who you are. Wraith of the Crimson Scale. Decorated warrior. 40 successful campaigns. Estimated human casualties attributed to your actions. Over 2,000. The number hung in the air like poison. Wraith did not deny it. Could not. And now you want us to believe you changed? Because of one child? Yes. Why should we trust you? You should not. I do not trust myself. But Lucy does. That should mean something. Dr. Stone studied him for a long moment. Then she tapped her tablet. A door opened. Lucy walked in. She wore clean clothes. Her hair was washed. Bandages covered small cuts. But she was alive. Whole. She saw Wraith and ran to him. The guards moved to stop her, but Dr. Stone raised a hand. Lucy pressed against the energy barrier separating them. Are you okay? They said you were hurt. I am fine. Are you hurt? No. They're nice here. They gave me food. Real food. And a bed. Dr. Stone said I could see you if I ate everything. Good. You need your strength. Are they going to kill you? Wraith glanced at Dr. Stone. The doctor's expression revealed nothing. I do not know. I won't let them. Lucy's voice was fierce. You saved me. You are good. I have done terrible things. But you're trying to be better. My dad said that matters most. Movement outside the cell drew Wraith's attention. More humans entered. Military uniforms. The leader was older. Scarred face. Cold eyes. He carried authority like a weapon. I am Colonel Frank Hayes, the man said. Commander of this resistance cell. And I want you dead. Lucy spun around. No. Child, this creature killed humans. Burned colonies. Destroyed families. He is a monster. He saved me. After his kind murdered your parents. Lucy flinched but held her ground. He did not kill them. Other dragons did. He fought them. Protected me. He could have left me to die. He didn't. Hayes looked at Wraith with pure hatred. Give me one reason not to execute you right now. Wraith met his gaze. I have information. Dragon fleet movements. Defense codes. Attack patterns. Details that could save human lives. You would betray your people. I already did. For her. I will do it again. Hayes stepped closer to the barrier. Why? What makes her special? Nothing. Everything. She is a child who should not die because adults chose war. If I can stop even one more family from burning, I will. Even if it means betraying every value I was taught. Pretty words from a killer. They're not pretty. They are true. I have blood on my claws that will never wash away. I know this. I accept this. But I can stop adding to it. I can choose differently. That is all anyone can do. Hayes was silent. His jaw worked. Finally, he turned to Dr. Stone. Your assessment. Physiologically, he is stable. His wounds are healing. He could survive interrogation if needed. That is not what I asked. Dr. Stone looked at Lucy, then at Wraith. I think he is telling the truth. I think he genuinely cares about the child. Whether that is enough to trust him long-term, I cannot say. But his intelligence could be valuable. Hayes nodded slowly. He pulled out a datapad. 3 days ago, we intercepted Dragon communications. They're mobilizing a major fleet. Destination unknown. Timeline unknown. If you have information about this, speak now. Wraith's blood ran cold. When did the mobilization begin? 6 days ago. Then you have less than 70 hours. The target is Meridian Colony. Population 50,000. The fleet will arrive, establish orbit, and begin orbital bombardment. They will wipe out the entire settlement. The room went silent. How do you know this? Hayes demanded. Because I helped plan it. 3 months ago, before I defected. It was supposed to be my next assignment after New Haven. Hayes grabbed the datapad. His fingers flew across the screen. He spoke rapidly to someone on comms. Minutes passed. Then he looked up. His face was pale. Scout ships confirmed Dragon fleet heading toward Meridian Sector. Long-range sensors show at least 30 warships. 34, Wraith said. With support craft. Total force over 60 vessels. We cannot evacuate 50,000 people in 70 hours. You cannot fight them directly either. Your weapons are inferior. Your ships too few. Then what do we do? Hayes' voice was strained. Wraith tested his chains. You let me help. I infiltrate the command ship, sabotage their weapons systems, give you a window to evacuate civilians and damage their fleet. That is suicide. Yes, it is. Why would you do that? Wraith looked at Lucy. She watched him with those steady brown eyes, the same eyes that made him choose differently, choose better, because she should grow up in a galaxy where dragons and humans do not kill each other, because 50,000 people deserve the chance I gave her, because I've spent 300 years destroying. It's time I built something, even if it costs everything. Hayes stared at him. Then slowly, grudgingly, he nodded. If you're lying, if this is a trap, I will kill the child myself before you can stop me. No, you will not. Wraith's voice was certain. You are angry, hurting, but you're not a monster. That is the difference between humans and what I was. You still have compassion even after everything. That is your strength. Hayes turned away. Get him out of those chains. Prep medical examination. Full intelligence debrief. And someone get the child proper quarters. We leave for Meridian in 12 hours. Lucy ran to Wraith as the barriers dropped. She hugged his leg. He placed one massive clawed hand gently on her head. You're going to save them? She asked. I'm going to try. That's enough. Wraith hoped she was right. The stolen transport ship rattled through space. Every bolt and panel vibrated. The humans cobbled it together from salvage parts. It barely qualified as flight-worthy, but it moved. That was enough. Wraith stood in the cargo bay. 60 hours until the Dragon fleet reached Meridian. The humans scrambled to prepare. They checked weapons, reviewed tactics, made peace with death. This mission had no guarantee of success. Most would die. They knew this. They came anyway. Lucy sat nearby. She drew pictures on a datapad. Her tongue stuck out in concentration. She drew dragons and humans holding hands. Simple. Innocent. Impossible. You should be in the safe quarters, Wraith said. I want to be near you. It is dangerous here. Everywhere is dangerous. She did not look up from her drawing. At least here I can see you before you go. Wraith's chest tightened. She understood. He was going on a suicide mission. She might never see him again. Yet she sat calmly, drawing hope that a young soldier approached. Owen, 22 years old, fresh-faced. He tried to hide his fear, but Wraith could smell it. All humans smelled of fear before battle. They just pretended otherwise. The colonel wants you on the bridge, Owen said. He did not meet Wraith's eyes. He had not spoken directly to the dragon since they left. Most humans avoided him. The guards, the soldiers, even Dr. Stone kept her distance. They hated him. Rightfully. I will be there shortly, Wraith said. Owen nodded and turned to leave. Then he stopped. Why did you save her? The question hung in the recycled air. Because she deserved to live. Lots of kids deserve to live. Human kids. Kids your people killed. Why does this one matter? Wraith considered the question. The real question beneath it. She does not matter more than others. Every child matters equally. But I could only save one. So I did. If I could save them all, I would. But I cannot change the past. Only the future. My sister was 6, Owen said. His voice cracked. Dragons hit our colony 4 years ago. She burned. I was off planet. Military training. I came back to ashes. They did not even leave bodies to bury. I am sorry. Your people did that. Yes, we did. So why should I trust you? You should not. But Lucy does. And if you care about human lives, you will help me save 50,000 of them. Your hate for me is justified. But hate alone will not stop the fleet. Owen's hands clenched into fists. His jaw worked. Finally, he nodded once and left. Lucy looked up from her drawing. He lost someone. Yes. Like you lost your daughter. Yes. Is that why everyone fights? Because they lost someone. Wraith sat down beside her. The floor groaned under his weight. Partly, people fight for many reasons. Resources, territory, greed, fear. But loss makes the fighting personal, makes it endless. Each side remembers their dead. Each side wants revenge. So the cycle continues. How does it stop? I do not know. Someone has to choose mercy over revenge, forgiveness over justice. But that is hard, perhaps impossible. Lucy was quiet for a moment. Then she held up her datapad. I made this for you. For luck. The drawing showed Wraith and Lucy together. Behind them stood her parents, smiling. Not angry, not scared, just peaceful. They would want me to forgive you, Lucy said. My dad said holding hate makes you sick inside. He said everyone deserves a chance to be better. Wraith took the datapad carefully. His claws dwarfed it. I will carry this. When I go to the command ship, when I am afraid, I will remember why I fight. Promise you will come back. I cannot promise that. Then promise you will try. That I can do. Lucy hugged him, her small arms wrapped around his massive forearm. Wraith felt something break inside. 300 years of ice. 300 years of emptiness. This child filled it with simple, impossible hope. The bridge was cramped. Human ships were not built for dragon-sized passengers. Wraith had to crouch. Colonel Hayes stood over tactical displays. Dr. Stone reviewed medical supplies. Other officers argued over approach vectors. We are 55 hours out, Hayes said without preamble. The Dragon fleet arrives in 60. That gives us 5 hours to infiltrate, sabotage, and evacuate. Not nearly enough time. It will have to be. Wraith said that he studied the tactical display. The Dragon fleet moved in standard formation. Command ship in the center. Destroyers on the flanks. Support vessels in the rear. Beautiful. Precise. Deadly. I need a small craft, Wraith said. Single occupant. Stealth capable. I will approach from the supply route. They rotate support ships every 6 hours. I know the schedules. The codes. I can slip in during the transition window. And once inside, main weapons are controlled from the command deck. I sabotage the firing systems. Overload the plasma cores. That give you 10 minutes. Maybe 15. You use that window to hit their shield generators. Disable the fleet. Evacuate the colony. 10 minutes is not enough to evacuate 50,000 people. Then save who you can. Some is better than none. Hayes' jaw tightened. I do not like this plan. Neither do I. But it is the only option we have. Dr. Stone spoke up. What are your chances of survival? Low. Very low. The command ship has 300 crew. All trained warriors. I am one dragon. Wounded. Tired. I will likely die before completing the mission. Then why go? Wraith pulled out the datapad. Lucy's drawing glowed on the screen. Because she believes I can. Because she sees a future where dragons and humans coexist. I have lived 300 years seeing only war. I would like to see something different, even if only for a moment. The bridge fell silent. Owen entered carrying equipment. He placed it near Wraith. Armor patches, weapons, medical supplies. He met Wraith's eyes. Something had changed. Not forgiveness, not friendship, but understanding. My sister's name was Lily, Owen said. She liked butterflies. She wanted to be a teacher. She sounds wonderful. She was. So don't waste this. If you're going to die, make it count. Save those people. Show me dragons can be more than killers. I will try. Trying is enough. The hours passed quickly. Too quickly. Wraith prepared. Checked equipment. Reviewed the command ship layout. Memorized timing. Said goodbye to Lucy one more time. She cried. So did he. Dragons were not supposed to cry. But he was not a dragon anymore. Not really. He was something new. Something broken and remade. The small stealth craft detached from the transport. Wraith piloted alone through the darkness. The dragon fleet loomed ahead. Massive. Unstoppable. He thought of Sarah. His first daughter. Lost to disease. He thought of Lucy. His second chance. Still alive. He thought of the future. That impossible drawing. Dragons and humans. Together, the command ship's docking bay opened. Wraith slipped inside. No alarms. No alerts. Perfect. Then he saw Torvin waiting. His old friend. Weapon drawn. Smile cold. Hello, traitor. We have been expecting you. The trap snapped shut. 6 dragons surrounded Wraith. Warriors he trained with. Fought beside. They formed a perfect circle. Weapons raised. Nowhere to run. Torvin stepped forward. His black armor gleamed under the harsh lights. Did you really think we would not monitor the access codes? Torvin said. Did you think we were stupid? Wraith's mind raced. The mission was over before it began. The sabotage would fail. Meridian would burn. 50,000 humans would die. Lucy would lose faith in him. In dragons. in any possibility of peace. I had to try, Wraith said. For what? For those animals? For that child. Torvin spat the words like poison. You threw away everything. Your honor, your brothers, your future, for nothing. Not nothing. For something better. There is nothing better than the Empire. Then the Empire is already dead. Torvin's eyes flashed. Kill him. The dragons opened fire. Wraith moved on instinct. 3 centuries of combat training took over. He dodged left, rolled right, used their own crossfire against them. 2 dragons hit each other. They fell. For remained. Wraith closed distance. Close combat was his only advantage. He was older but meaner. More experienced. He had survived longer for a reason. His claws ripped through armor. His tail smashed a weapon. His jaws closed on a throat. Not to kill, just to disable. These were his brothers once. He did not want their deaths, but they wanted his. Plasma fire seared his back. Pain exploded through his body. He stumbled. Another shot caught his leg. He went down. A dragon kicked his head. Blood filled his mouth. Pathetic, Torvin said. You were the best of us once. Now look at you. Beaten. Broken. For what? For a human child who will die anyway. We will burn Meridian. We will find her. We will make her watch as we destroy everything she loves. Just like you destroyed our brotherhood. Wraith's vision blurred. He tried to stand. Failed. His body would not respond. Too much damage. Too much blood loss. But his hand found his weapon. He fired blind. The shot went wide. Hit a plasma conduit. The explosion rocked the docking bay. Alarm screamed. Fire erupted. The dragon scattered. Wraith crawled. Each movement agony. But he moved. Toward the command deck. Toward the mission. Toward purpose. Torvin grabbed his tail. Pulled him back. You're not going anywhere. Yes, I am. Wraith twisted. Threw Torvin off balance. They grappled. 2 old friends trying to kill each other. The irony was not lost on Wraith. They should have died together in battle. Brothers to the end. Instead, they died as enemies. Betrayal on both sides. But whose betrayal was greater? Wraith's choice to save a child? Or Torvin's choice to burn children? They fought to the edge of the docking bay. The hangar door had been damaged. The void of space yawned beyond. No atmosphere. No safety. Just death. Last chance. Torvin gasped. Surrender. Accept judgment. Die with some dignity. No. Then die a traitor. Torvin pushed. Wraith fell backward. Toward the void. Toward death. His claws caught the edge. Barely. He hung there. Space pulled at him. His grip weakened. Torvin stood above him. Weapon aimed at his head. Goodbye, old friend. The shot never came. Torvin's chest exploded. He fell. Dead before he hit the ground. Behind him stood Owen, the young human soldier, holding a heavy plasma rifle. Smoke curled from the barrel. His face was pale, but determined. I thought you might need backup, Owen said. Wraith pulled himself up. Every muscle screamed, protest. You should not be here. Yeah, well, my sister deserved better. Those people on Meridian deserve better. And maybe you do too. Owen helped steady him. Can you still complete the mission? Yes. How did you infiltrate? Dr. Stone figured out your plan was too obvious. Guessed it was a trap. So Hayes sent me to follow. Cloaked insertion pot. Been hiding in the cargo bay for an hour. Waiting. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. We still need to sabotage this ship and get out alive. They moved through corridors. Wraith led. Owen covered. They encountered patrols. Brief firefights. Wraith fought smarter now. Used the ship's layout against its defenders. He knew every access panel, every weak point. This ship was his design. The command deck loomed ahead. Heavy blast doors. Security locks. Elite guards. I cannot get through that, Owen said. I can. Wraith walked forward. Weaponless. Empty-handed. The guards tensed. I am Wraith of the Crimson Scale, he called out. Decorated warrior of 40 campaigns. I claim trial by combat. The old law. Single combat against your champion. If I win, you let me pass. If I lose, you may kill me. But the human goes free. The guards exchanged looks. The old law was sacred. Unbreakable. Even traitors could invoke it. A massive dragon stepped forward. Scars covered his body. A veteran. A killer. He looked at Wraith with respect. Not hatred. Respect. I am Krell. I accept your challenge. They fought in the corridor. No weapons. Just claws and strength and will. Krell was younger. Stronger. Faster. But Wraith had something Krell did not. Purpose. Wraith thought of Lucy. Her drawing. Her hope. Her impossible belief that he could be better. Could change things. Could save people that he fought not to win, but to protect, to preserve, to build instead of destroy. He won. Barely. Krell lay defeated but alive. He looked up at Wraith. Why spare me? Because death should not be the answer to everything. The guards honored the old law. They stepped aside. Wraith and Owen entered the command deck. The sabotage took minutes. Override codes. System access. Plasma core overload. Wraith knew exactly where to strike. This ship. This fleet. He helped build them. Now he tore them down. Alarms blared. The ship shuddered. The fleet would be crippled. Not destroyed, but weakened enough. Enough for humans to evacuate. Enough to save lives. Time to go. Owen said. They ran. The ship fell apart around them. Dragons evacuated. Escape pods launched. Chaos everywhere. They reached Owen's insertion pod. Cramped. Built for one human. Not a dragon and a human. They squeezed in any way. Launched. The pod tumbled through space. Behind them, the command ship exploded. Secondary detonations rippled through the fleet. The human resistance seized the opportunity. They struck hard. Fast. Brutal. And, on Meridian, evacuation transports lifted off. Thousands of people escaping. Not everyone, but thousands. Wraith closed his eyes. Lucy would be proud. The pod docked with the human transport. Hands pulled him out. Dr. Stone immediately started treating Wraith's wounds. Hayes watched, his expression unreadable. You did it, Hayes said. We did it. Wraith corrected. Lucy ran into the medical bay. She saw Wraith covered in blood. Bandages. Burns. She did not hesitate. She ran to him. Hugged him. You came back, she whispered. I promised I would try. And you did more than try. You saved them. Wraith looked around. At Owen. At Hayes. At Dr. Stone. At all the humans who should hate him. Who had every right to hate him. But they did not look at him with hate anymore. They looked at him with something else. Hope. 6 months changed the galaxy. Wraith stood outside the small house. Morning sun warmed his scales. The injuries healed slowly. Dragons were resilient, but even they had limits. Dr. Stone said he would carry the scars forever. Physical and otherwise. He accepted this. Lucy ran past him chasing a ball. She laughed. The sound filled something in Wraith's chest that he thought died centuries ago. She was 8 now. Growing fast. Learning fast. Still haunted by nightmares sometimes. But she smiled more than she cried. Colonel Hayes stepped onto the porch. He carried coffee. He offered a cup to Wraith. Dragons did not drink coffee. But Wraith took it anyway. A gesture. A bridge. Big day, Hayes said. Yes. How are you feeling? Nervous. Good. Shows you care about the outcome. The trial was today. 6 months of preparation. 6 months of negotiations. 6 months of both species arguing over what justice meant. What redemption cost. What peace required. The Dragon Empire wanted Wraith executed. Traditional law demanded it. Traitosti. No exceptions. But younger dragons questioned this. They saw Wraith's choice differently. Not as betrayal, but as conscience. Not as weakness, but as strength. The human governments were equally divided. Some wanted Wraith imprisoned forever. Payment for the lives he took. The colonies he burned. The families he destroyed. Others saw him as proof that change was possible. That enemies could become allies. That cycles of violence could break. The neutral station sanctuary hosted the hearing. Both species sent representatives. The galaxy watched. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a stake. Lucy came back to the porch. She was dressed carefully. Her best clothes. She understood the importance. She would testify today. A child speaking to empires. Wraith worried about her. The pressure. The attention. The weight of representing hope. Are you ready? Dr. Stone asked. She emerged from the house. She would testify, too, about Wraith's recovery, his cooperation, his genuine remorse. Her testimony carried weight. She had no reason to defend him except evidence. I am ready, Lucy said. She took Wraith's clawed hand. Her tiny fingers wrapped around one massive digit. We do this together. The transport ride was quiet. Owen piloted. He earned a promotion after Meridian. Became a liaison between human and dragon forces. An unlikely role for someone who lost family to dragons. But he accepted it. Said his sister would have wanted him to build bridges, not walls. Sanctuary Station loomed ahead. Massive. Beautiful. A collaboration between species built a generation ago. Before the wars turned total. Before both sides forgot how to compromise. It represented what they once were. What they could be again. The hearing chamber was enormous. Tiered seating rose on all sides. Dragons on one side. Humans on the other. Neutral observers in between. Cameras everywhere. Billions watching across countless worlds. Wraith entered in chains. A formality. He could break them easily, but he wore them anyway. Acceptance of judgment. Recognition of crimes. Submission to process. The prosecution spoke first. A dragon elder named Sharn. His voice was cold. Clinical. He listed Wraith's crimes in detail. 40 campaigns. Estimated casualties. Documented kills. Civilian settlements destroyed. The numbers were staggering. Undeniable. This dragon violated every principle of our society, Sharn concluded. He murdered a superior officer. He aided enemies. He sabotaged imperial operations. The law is clear. The punishment is clear. Death. Murmurs rippled through the dragon's section. Agreement. Tradition. Justice. Then the human prosecution spoke. A woman named Patricia Wells. She lost her husband at New Haven. The same raid where Wraith met Lucy. She had every reason to hate him. Her voice shook with emotion. This creature killed my husband. He destroyed my home. He took everything from me. And yes, I want him to suffer for that. I want justice. She paused. Tears streamed down her face. But my husband always said that revenge makes us no better than our enemies. He said real strength was choosing mercy when hate was easier. I do not know if I could forgive this dragon. But I know my husband would want me to try. So I asked for imprisonment, not death. Let him live with what he did. Let him spend his life making amends. The chamber erupted. Dragons protested. Uman Zaraga. The judges called for order, Doctor. Stone testified next. She spoke calmly, scientifically, about Wraith's psychology, his genuine remorse, his cooperation, his intelligence that saved Meridian. Her assessment was clear. He was not a threat. He was an asset. Owen testified, told the story of his sister, his hatred, his slow realization that Wraith was different. That change was possible, that judging individuals by collective guilt was the same mistake that started the wars. Then Lucy took the stand. She was so small. The witness chair swallowed her, but she sat straight, looked directly at the judges, both dragon and human. She did not waver. My parents died because of dragons, she said. Her voice carried through the silent chamber. I should hate all dragons. That would be easy. That would be normal. But Wraith saved me when he could have killed me. He protected me when everyone he knew wanted me dead. He gave up his entire world for me. One little human girl he did not even know. She paused, gathered herself. People say he is a monster. Maybe he was. But monsters do not change. Monsters do not sacrifice. Monsters do not try to be better. Wraith did all those things. He is not perfect. He has done terrible things. But he is trying. And if we kill everyone who tries to change, then nobody will ever try. We will just keep fighting forever. Is that what we want? More dead parents? More scared children? More hate? Lucy looked directly at Sharn. Then at Patricia Wells. My mom and dad would want peace. They would want me to grow up in a galaxy where I do not have to be afraid, where dragons and humans can be friends. Wraith showed me that is possible. Please do not kill that possibility. Please give him a chance. Give all of us a chance. She sat down. The chamber was dead silent. The judges deliberated for hours. Dragon judges, human judges, neutral representatives from other species. They emerged finally. Their decision was unprecedented. Wraith would not die. He would not be imprisoned, he would be exiled from dragon territory, granted asylum among humans, required to work toward peace, required to share intelligence, required to help prevent future conflicts. He would be monitored, restricted, forever marked as a bridge between species, not freedom, not forgiveness, but a chance. Wraith accepted the terms. Lucy hugged him. Owen shook his hand. Dr. Stone smiled. Hayes nodded with grudging respect. Outside, protesters gathered. Both species. Some celebrated. Some raged. Change was never easy. Peace was never simple. But it was possible. 6 months later, Wraith lived in a small house on the human colony of Belridge. Lucy lived with Hayes and Dr. Stone. They adopted her officially, gave her a family, gave her home. Wraith worked with refugee organizations, helped displaced families from both species, used his knowledge to prevent conflicts, received death threats weekly, ignored them. Every morning, he walked Lucy to school. Other children were scared at first. Parents complained, but Lucy defended him, introduced him to her friends, showed them his kindness. Slowly, fear became curiosity. Curiosity became acceptance. One morning, a dragon ship arrived at Belridge. Wraith tensed, prepared for the worst. A young dragon emerged. Female. Her scales were silver. Her uniform was civilian. She approached carefully, respectfully. "My name is Sora," she said. "I served under you once. At the Meridian battle, I was a communications officer on a destroyer. I saw what you did. I saw you choose conscience over duty." Wraith waited. "You inspired me. And others. Young dragons who question the old ways. Who want peace. Who want to stop burning colonies and start building futures." Sora pulled out a data chip. "We formed a coalition. Dragons who want change. We need help. We need someone who understands both sides. Someone who paid the price for peace." "Why me?" "Because Lucy was right. If we kill everyone who tries to change, nobody will try. You tried. You paid. You survived. Now, help us make sure your sacrifice meant something." Wraith looked back at the house. Lucy watched from the window. She waved, smiled. That he thought of Sarah, his first daughter. Lost a war. He thought of Lucy, his second chance. Saved from war. That he thought of the future. That impossible drawing. Dragons and humans. Together. "I will help," Wraith said. The work would be hard. The path uncertain. Many would oppose them. Many would fail, but they would try, and sometimes trying was enough.